I don't respect you. She said it quietly. We were standing in her office, the door half open, her assistant pretending not to listen. I had just finished explaining why I deserved the promotion. 10 minutes of reasons, of proof, of accomplishments laid out like evidence in a trial. And she looked at me with that expression. Not anger, not disappointment. Something worse. Indifference. I don't respect you, she repeated. And I don't think I ever will. The floor disappeared beneath me. Not because she was cruel, but because somewhere deep in my chest, beneath all the justifications and the rehearsed confidence, I knew she was right. I didn't respect myself. And she could see it. They all could. That's the look people give you when they know they can use you. It's not hate. Hate would mean you're a threat. It's not even anger. Anger would mean you disturb their peace. It's contempt. Quiet, subtle, crushing contempt. It's the way they interrupt you mid-sentence and don't apologize. The way they leave you waiting for days, knowing you'll reply the moment they decide to return. The way they dump their problems onto you, but vanish when you need them. You feel it in your gut. That cold realization that you're the background character in your own life. The safe option. The one who never says no. The one who waits, hoping that if you just give a little more, if you're just a little nicer, they'll finally see your worth, but they won't. You think you're being kind. You think you're being a good person. You've convinced yourself that your silence is maturity, that your endless forgiveness is virtue. But you're not virtuous. You're harmless. And in this world, harmless things are not respected. They're consumed. There's a fundamental law that governs all human interaction, and most people never learn it. It's the same law that makes gold valuable and water cheap. It's the same law that makes diamonds precious while air is free. Scarcity. You are treated like nothing because you're everywhere. You're always available. You're an unlimited resource. When someone sends a message, you reply in seconds. When someone asks for a favor, you say yes before they finish the sentence. When someone cancels on you at the last minute, you smile and say you understand. You've flooded the market with your presence, and when supply exceeds demand, value drops to zero. You believe that by being available, you're building connection. You think if you're always there, they'll realize how loyal you are. Wrong. Human beings are wired to chase what retreats. We're hunters by nature. We don't value what falls into our lap. We value what we have to work for, what we have to earn. When you give your time, your energy, your attention away for free, you're teaching people you have no value. You're training them to disrespect you. People judge you by how you present yourself. If you present yourself as someone with nothing better to do than wait for them, they'll treat you as someone with nothing better to do. Think about the person you respect most. Do they answer their phone on the first ring every time? Do they agree with everything you say? Do they apologize for existing? No. They have boundaries. They have a life outside of you. They're scarce. If you want to regain respect, you must withdraw. You must artificially create scarcity. This isn't a game. This isn't playing hard to get. This is about reclaiming your own life. Stop explaining yourself. The next time someone asks you to do something you don't want to do, don't give them a paragraph of excuses. Don't lie about appointments or obligations. Just say no. and then silence. The silence that follows a no is where your power lives. Most people are terrified of that silence. They rush to fill it with nervous laughter, justifications, apologies. Stop. When you explain, you're submitting. You're asking for their permission to say no. You're implicitly saying, please don't be mad at me. A sovereign does not explain their decrees. When you offer an explanation, you open the door for negotiation. You give them a hook to drag you back in. But when you simply say no, you hit them with a wall, a solid, immovable wall of self-respect. It will feel uncomfortable. Your heart will race. Your brain will scream that they're going to hate you. Let them. If their affection depends on your submission, you never had their affection. You had their usage. External reality is a mirror. It reflects your internal state back to you with brutal accuracy. You walk into a room with your shoulders slumped, eyes darting, apologizing for taking up space. You speak softly, afraid to offend. You laugh at jokes that aren't funny just to ease the tension. You're broadcasting a signal, and that signal is, I am prey. Predatory personalities, narcissists, exploiters, they have a sixth sense for this signal. They can smell the lack of self-respect on you like blood in the water. They don't target the strong. They target the compliant. And it's not just the predators. Even normal, good people will unconsciously lose respect for you. It's biological. We're social animals with hierarchy. When you signal that you're at the bottom, people treat you like you're at the bottom. This is the hardest truth to swallow. You are complicit in your own abuse. Every time you stayed silent when you should have spoken up, you signed a contract. Every time you accepted an apology that wasn't sincere, you lowered your price. Every time you went back to someone who hurt you, you taught them how to hurt you again. You teach people how to treat you. If you tolerate disrespect, you authorize it. People will push until they hit a wall. If they never hit a wall, they'll keep pushing. They'll take your arm, then your leg, then your soul. Not because they're evil, though some are, but because power expands into empty space. You are empty space. You have no walls. You have no fortress. To change this, you have to stop looking at them and start looking at yourself. Why do you feel guilty when you stand up for yourself? Where did you learn that your needs are secondary? Who told you that being good meant being silent? You repress your aggression. You think aggression is bad. You think anger is toxic. So you shove it down into the basement of your psyche. But a person without the capacity for aggression is not virtuous. They're just weak. A rabbit is not virtuous because it doesn't eat the wolf. It can't eat the wolf. To be truly respected, you must be capable of being dangerous, but choose to be kind. You must have a sword and keep it sheathed. If you have no sword, your kindness is not a gift. It's a survival strategy. You're nice because you're terrified of what will happen if you aren't. And people smell that fear. Respect comes from the realization that you could bite, but you choose not to. That you could walk away and never look back. That you could destroy the relationship if your boundaries are crossed. If you cannot destroy, you cannot protect. Most people who've made it this far are still performing kindness instead of choosing it. They're still trading their dignity for approval and calling it virtue. If that's you, If you're watching this video hoping for permission to finally stand up, then maybe choosing to subscribe isn't about me at all. Maybe it's about declaring to yourself that you're done being harmless. But most won't click it. Most will keep hoping that being nice will eventually be enough. It won't. Stop rushing. Insecure people rush. They walk fast. They talk fast. They eat fast. They act as if they're stealing time, as if they don't deserve to be there. Slow down. Move with deliberation. When you turn your head, turn it slowly. When you speak, pause between sentences. Silence is not empty, it's heavy. Let your words land. When you rush to answer a question, you're trying to please. When you take 3 seconds to think before you speak, you're evaluating. The person evaluating holds the frame. The person rushing to answer is trapped in the frame. Change the dynamic. When someone interrupts you, don't stop talking. Keep speaking at the same volume. Or stop completely and look them in the eyes for 3 seconds of uncomfortable silence. Then say, "I wasn't finished." Don't smile when you say it. Smiles are for submission. Keep your face neutral. This is what we call the unreactive gaze. It's an observant look that says, "I see what you're doing and it does not affect me." The moment you do this, the moment you hold the tension instead of trying to diffuse it, the dynamic flips. They'll feel a spike of anxiety. They'll realize they can't push you, and in that moment of anxiety, respect is born. Why are you so attached to being nice? Because you believe in a transactional universe. You believe that if you put goodness coins into the vending machine of life, you'll get love and respect out. You think if you listen to their problems for 3 hours, they'll listen to yours. If you cover for them at work, they'll help you when you're overwhelmed. If you never complain, they'll appreciate your patience. But life is not a vending machine, and people are not logical mechanisms. If you insist on being good, compliant, submissive, yielding in a world full of people who are self-interested and power-hungry, you will be destroyed. This is not cynicism, this is survival. Your goodness is actually a covert contract. You're doing things for people expecting a return you never asked for, and when they don't pay up, you become resentful. You sit in your room seething after everything I did for them. But did they ask you to do it? Or did you do it because you wanted to buy their approval? You're not a martyr. You're a manipulator who's bad at math. You're trying to manipulate people into loving you by sacrificing yourself. But the price of your sacrifice is too low, so they take it and give nothing back. Stop giving. Stop doing things that breed resentment. If doing a favor makes you feel used, don't do it. If listening to that friend complain about their ex for the 100th time makes you want to scream, hang up the phone. But that's selfish. Yes, be selfish. Selfishness is the foundation of self-preservation. You cannot pour from an empty cup. And right now, your cup is dry, cracked, full of dust. You need to become selectively generous. Generosity is beautiful when it's a choice, when it comes from abundance. But when you give out of obligation, that's slavery. Your yes has no value because you give it to everyone. Can you help me move? Yes. Can you lend me money? Yes. Can you stay late? Yes. Your yes is inflated currency. It's worthless paper money printed in the trillions. To make your yes valuable, you must introduce the no. The first time you say no to someone who's used to hearing yes, they'll react with shock, then anger. They might call you selfish. They might try to guilt trip you. I thought we were friends. Recognize this for what it is, a tantrum. They're a child who's been told they can't have the candy. Don't negotiate with the child. Don't apologize. Stand firm and watch what happens. Once the anger fades, and it will, they'll look at you differently. They'll realize you have boundaries. They'll realize you're not an extension of them, but a separate, sovereign entity with your own will. And the next time you say yes, they'll treasure it, because they know you didn't have to say it. This is the paradox. By refusing to serve them, you become someone worthy of their service. But there's a mental trap that keeps you stuck. The fear of abandonment. You think if you set boundaries, they'll leave. You're right. Some will leave. The parasites will leave. The users will leave. The energy vampires will leave. Let them go. You're holding on to dead weight and calling it a support system. You're drowning and you're terrified of letting go of the anchor. You have to be willing to walk alone, because the quality of your life is determined by the quality of what you refuse to tolerate. Human beings are terrified of empty space. In conversation, when there's a pause, your instinct is to fill it. You babble. You laugh nervously. You add unnecessary details. Stop. When you ask a question, shut your mouth. Wait for the answer. When you make a statement, let it hang in the air. Create a void. The person who's more comfortable with the void holds the power. When you become comfortable with silence, you force the other person to work for your validation. They'll start talking to fill the space. They'll reveal things they didn't mean to say. They'll try to impress you. The void is a vacuum. It sucks their power out and gives it to you. Be the void. Never bleed in public. Vulnerability is a double-edged sword. In the wrong hands, it's a weapon used against you. Don't share your wounds with people who haven't proven they can hold the bandage. When you complain about your life to people who don't respect you, you're giving them ammunition. You're showing them exactly where to kick you later. If you're hurt, if you're struggling, process it in private. Process it with a therapist. Process it with the few loyal allies you have. To the rest of the world, you're unbothered. You're stoic. This drives them insane. They want a reaction. They want to see you crumble because it makes them feel superior. Deny them that satisfaction. In any negotiation, the person who cares the least wins. This is the iron law of power. If you need the job more than they need you, they own you. If you need the relationship more than they need you, they own you. You must cultivate the ability to walk away from anything. This requires you to build a life that you actually like. A life where you are your own primary source of stability. When you know deep in your bones that you'll be fine without them, your energy shifts. You stop grasping. You stop begging. And ironically, that's exactly when they start chasing. When someone questions your decision, don't justify, argue, defend, or explain. This is the behavior of the guilty. This is the behavior of the subordinate. Why aren't you coming to the party? Don't say, well, I'm really tired and I have work tomorrow. Say, I'm not feeling it tonight. End of sentence. When you justify, you're handing them the judge's gavel. You're saying, please judge my reasons, tell me if they're good enough. Burn the gavel. You are the judge. Become unpredictable. You're too predictable. People know exactly what you'll do. You'll say yes. You'll smile. You'll stay late. Predictability is boring. Predictability is safe. Safe things are ignored. Break the pattern. If you're usually talkative, be quiet for a day. If you're always available on Friday nights, disappear for 3 Fridays in a row. Do something out of character. This shocks the system. It wakes people up. It forces them to look at you again and realize they don't have you figured out. Mystery is a component of presence. You cannot be mysterious if you're a creature of habit, judged by actions, never words. Words are air. Words are free. I love you. I respect you. I'll pay you back. Ignore them. Turn off the sound. Watch the movie of their life without the audio. What do? Do they show up? Do they support you when it's inconvenient? Do they respect your boundaries when you set them? If the actions contradict the words are lies. Respect yourself enough to believe the evidence of your eyes, not the hope in your heart. You must realize that no one is coming to save you. No one is coming to validate you. No one is going to hand you a crown and say, now you matter. You have to crown yourself. Sovereignty means you're the supreme authority in your own reality. You define what's good, what's bad, what's worthy, and what's not. You stop looking for external permission. You simply are. There's a misconception that being strategic or dark means being evil. It doesn't. It means being integrated. You should be a monster, and then you should learn to control it. Why? Because if you're incapable of cruelty, you're not virtuous. You're just helpless. A man who holds a sword but chooses not to swing it is peaceful. A man who has no sword is not peaceful. He's a victim in waiting. You need to find your inner monster. You need to find that part of you that can be cold, that can be ruthless, that can cut someone out of your life without looking back. You've spent years suppressing this side of yourself. You thought it was bad. But it's your protector. That anger you feel, that rage when someone disrespects you, that's your monster waking up. That's your self-respect trying to break through the concrete of your conditioning. Don't silence it, listen to it. It's telling you this is not enough. We deserve better. When you integrate your shadow, you gain a new kind of presence. People can feel it. They feel that you're not just a nice person. They feel that there's a dangerous potential in you. And that potential demands respect. Think of the ocean. The ocean is beautiful. We love to look at it. We find it therapeutic. But we also respect it. Why? Because we know it can kill us. We know that underneath the sparkling surface there are depths we cannot see and currents we cannot fight. Be like the ocean. Beautiful on the surface, dangerous underneath. This integration is painful. It requires you to stop being the victim in your own story. Victims are innocent, victims are pure, but victims are powerless. To take power, you have to admit that you're capable of darkness. You have to admit that you have the capacity to hurt, to manipulate, to dominate. And then you choose to use that capacity for protection, not destruction. You use it to draw a circle around yourself and say, nothing crosses this line without my permission. There is a price for self-respect, and the price is solitude. When you start applying these principles, your circle will shrink. The people who liked you because you were easy to manipulate will hate the new you. They'll say you've changed. They'll say you've become arrogant. Good. Let them leave. The fire of transformation burns away the dead wood. You'll find yourself alone for a while. This is the desert of the real. It's quiet here. It's lonely here. But it's real. And it's better to be alone in the desert of reality than to be crowded in the illusion of fake connection. Use this solitude. This is not punishment. It's preparation. In this silence, you'll hear your own voice for the first time in years. You'll figure out what you actually like, what you actually want. Not what your parents wanted, not what your partner wanted, not what society wanted, you. This is where the sovereign is born. You stop being a brick in someone else's wall, and you start building your own castle. Don't fear the loneliness. Embrace it. Solitude is the laboratory of greatness. Every powerful mind in history spent time in the wilderness. They all had to disconnect from the herd to find their own path. If you're feeling lonely right now, reframe it. You're not lonely, you're untethered, you're free. And freedom is terrifying to those who've lived in cages their whole lives. So, here is the choice. It's binary. There's no middle ground. Option 1, you go back to sleep, you apologize, you explain, you beg for scraps of attention, you let them interrupt you, you let them use you. You stay the nice person, the harmless person, the forgotten person, and you'll die with a heart full of resentment, wondering why no one ever saw you. Option 2, you wake up, you embrace the darkness, you integrate the shadow, you learn to say no without a smile, you learn to sit in the void of silence, you become the ocean, beautiful, deep and dangerous. You respect yourself first, and you force the world to adjust to your standard. The world doesn't give you what you want, it gives you what you are. Be something undeniable. This path is not for everyone. Most people will close this video and go back to their comfortable slavery. But you're still here. That means there's something in you that's tired of the cage. If this opened your eyes, understand this is only the surface.